Thank you for joining the A-Game Zoom meeting. Juan, start us off with your financial projections.
Oh, golly, Wally, what is that?
Wait, does he even know he's live?
Why are his pants so tight? Oh, you just got the... Is he pop locking?
He does have moves. Go on.
Or the breakdance?
Ooh, I hope he doesn't split his tight pants.
Oh, go on. Go, it's your birthday. Go on, it's your birthday.
You better clap yourself like you work. In there dancing around like you crazy.
Okay, that was pretty good. Now that Juan has given us his unauthorized dance routine, does anyone else have a dance routine they want to do? Okay, well, let's get back to showing the world why A-Game is the #1 herbal solution in the world. However, I kind of want to know why his pants were so tight too. But let's get back to being on our A-Game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what we're talking about today is Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Now, there's two sides to me. There is the geek side of me that is always excited when a new MCU movie drops, just because since childhood I have been a Marvel fan, and even though they've had a lot of mess ups and a lot of things that I have not liked as a Marvel purist, it still has been fun over the years watching these characters be brought to life. Some cases better than others. But in the recently created, I guess you can still say recently created MCU, because it's been going on for years now. And when I say recently created, I mean since the Avengers and that whole story arc with Thanos and all of that. And what was included in that was the first Black Panther. And the first Black Panther movie, if you haven't seen it, you've been under a rock. I suggest you come out from under that rock and watch it, especially if you're Black, even if you're not a Marvel fan or you don't know exactly who Black Panther is in the comic books. The movie itself was a beautiful movie for several reasons. Not only was the cinematography wonderful, the costuming, all of the effects and all of these different things were beautiful. The acting was also amazing. Everybody put in an awesome performance, especially the lead character played by Chadwick Boseman. Now, all of us realize that Chadwick passed away from colon cancer before Black Panther 2 could be filmed. So it left a void in who was going to portray the Black Panther character on screen, especially since Chadwick turned in such an awesome performance and basically is forever cemented as the Black Panther. It seems almost as if, though, Marvel has taken this opportunity to not necessarily recast the character as a male. There's a lot of speculation that would fall in line with the way Disney and Marvel have been doing a woke thing, that the next person in the Black Panther suit is probably going to be Shuri, which is Black Panther's sister in the film. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, although Shuri did spend a little time as the Black Panther in the comic books because of the vacuum that was created in the comic books, and she did her actions did cause a war between Wakanda and the Atlanteans. And if you've watched the Black Panther new trailer, we know that that's the next new nemesis that they have is Namor, the Submariner, one of my favorite characters, is going to be in conflict with Wakanda. Now, in the trailer, they are portraying or honoring Chadwick's death in real life as the death of the Black Panther in the movie. Now, we have no idea how they're going to play that into the script or whatever, because the movie has not been released yet. So much of it is speculation. However, it still would appear that the death of Chadwick has simultaneously meant the death of the Black Panther as a strong Black male patriarch king. And that's the other part of me. One part is geeking out because the first Black Panther was such an amazing movie. It told several stories in layers. So it told the Black Panther story as a Marvel character, but then it told the story between it told a Pan-African story, basically the story between the lost Black Americans, the ones who were the descendants of the slaves that were brought over as a result of the transatlantic slave trade, and the African countries that existed that sort of left them behind, and we didn't have a connection regardless of the fact of the slavery or due to the fact of the slavery. And Black Panther sort of told the story of a symbolic reuniting where Killmonger represented the American Black and T'Challa represented the African who never lost sight of his roots. He's grounded in his homeland, and Killmonger is not, because he's ADOS. Okay, completely disconnected from his homeland, even though he shares blood. So the story, that the multi-layered story told in Black Panther, is really what made Black people come out in droves, including myself, to support the movie monetarily in the theaters, and made it, I do believe, the highest grossing Marvel movie, or one of the highest grossing Marvel movies, period. And so there is a connection to Chadwick as Black Panther. However, here's the thing. With any of Marvel's iconic characters, be it a Professor X, be it a Tony Stark, be it a Spider-Man, whomever, if the actors that portrayed those characters were to suddenly and unfortunately pass away, Marvel is not going to get rid of those characters. Marvel is going to pay tribute and homage to the actor that passed, and then they're going to promptly recast that character. Okay? How many Spider-Mans has it been? There's been like 3 major Spider-Mans, right? There was Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. Okay? All playing Spider-Man to such an extent that they had him in the multiverse, right? If something happens and Benedict Cumberbatch didn't want to play Doctor Strange anymore, they're gonna recast him. Okay, if something happened to Robert Downey Jr. and he doesn't want to play Iron Man anymore, they're gonna recast him, and so on and so on. Even if you go to DC, how many Supermans has it been? Yes, Christopher Reeves was iconic, but that didn't stop them from remaking Superman and Henry Cavill as Superman and a million other Supermans, right? Yeah, we all liked Michael Keaton's Batman, but there's been a slew of Batmans, good and bad, okay? Throughout the years, everybody's played Batman, whether you like the way that they portrayed it or not. Everybody's played Joker, whether you like the way that they portrayed it or not. So these iconic characters that are moneymakers for these companies, and in particular, we're talking about Marvel right now, are not going to be put to rest because the actor, for whatever reason, is unable to portray or reprise that role. And such is the case with Chadwick Boseman. Okay, the issue here is that anybody that you recast with, we're gonna be kind of like, oh man, it's not Chadwick, but we know The point, though, would be the reason why this is so important is because Chadwick played a character that we don't see in any cinematographic, y'all know what word I'm trying to, cinematic, in any cinematic universe at all, Marvel or otherwise. And that is the heterosexual, strong, Black male leader. That's why he's important. That's why this is important. That's why I'm speaking on it today. Because we have an extreme shortage of portrayals of Black male leaders, Black men who are in leadership positions that are not part of the rainbow community, that are not evil portrayed as, that are not criminals, that are not of dubious origin, or, you know, he's an anti-hero, or you don't really like him, but he's, you know, that kind of stuff. Black Panther was representative of a Black, and I'm going to keep stressing this, a Black heteronormative man who was a descendant of kings, who was a king himself, who led his country and his people with integrity and a value system that they upheld. Okay? This is something that little Black boys don't see, and little Black girls need to see it too. And it doesn't matter that this is a fictitious character, because we've seen a slew of fictitious characters that have been the opposite of a Black man with integrity, of a Black man with values, of a Black man that's a leader, a Black man that is upholding something that his Black male ancestors built. And that has had a tremendous effect on our collective subconscious, because that is part of the Black male appearance value and image. See, we've always had the imagery of the pimp. We've always had the imagery of the drug dealer. Okay, he might be monetarily successful, but he was a criminal. He ran a criminal empire to get there. Or he was brutal, or, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. We had New Jack City in the 90s with Nino Brown. He was brutal. He wasn't nobody to look up to. The various blaxploitation films of the 70s, where we had pimps and this and that. The most famous one being Superfly. Priest was, you know what I'm saying? Was Priest really somebody to look up to? No. And so even though these have been fictitious characters, they have had a profound effect on the culture, on Black culture, and how we perceive Black men. Right? If he is an upstanding man, he's soft, he's not a leader, no one really depends on him or looks to him for strong leadership. You know, he's not the patriarch, he's not the alpha. And so T'Challa and even his father in the movie T'Chaka were representatives of Black male kings, of Black male strength, intellect, value, integrity, honor, royalty, clear-mindedness, the ability to lead a nation and make decisions where the women deferred to them. So even though he had a king's guard that was made of women, those women deferred to him. Even his mother, who was Queen Regent, deferred to him. Okay? His sister deferred to him. His love interest, Nakia, deferred to him. We still have M'Baku, but M'Baku is not the Black Panther. M'Baku is part of the gorilla tribe, the Jabari. He's not going to take the Black Panther mantle. So it's more than likely going to be portrayed as a female in the Black Panther suit, at least temporarily. if not for the rest of the series, if the series continues. It's important to note there are other male rulers in this movie. Namor being the ruler of the Atlanteans, and then the white male rulers of the West, male. Wakanda, the most powerful nation in the world, no male leadership now. And that is profound. That it seems as if Marvel has used the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman as a reason to really get rid of the Black Panther as the strong Black male figure. And time and again, we keep seeing Black women be put in these leadership positions over Black people, over Black nations. And that is not realistic. That has not been how our nations have gone. When we have had successful civilizations, it has not been led by women. Now, we may have been more egalitarian even as a patriarchy, but make no mistake, it has been Black men who have been in these leadership positions for good, bad, or indifferent. And we don't see white patriarchies, even in movies, even in fictitious movies, being replaced by the women. And even when they do, the women mess it up. Case in point, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones had male leadership all over the place, whether you like the kings, disagreed with them, didn't like them, whatever. And you had Daenerys, who was like the rightful, ascendant to the throne. Cersei was in charge of it, but she ran Westeros in the ground. Nobody liked Cersei. She wasn't a good ruler. She was emotional. And so was Daenerys. And at the end, you saw two women destroy an entire country based off their emotions because they could not rule. But here we're going to have, quote unquote, competent rulership, I guess, from the women, when the whole entire Wakanda has been really held together by the male patriarchy that has ran Wakanda for generation after generation and built it to be the most powerful country in the world, technologically, educationally, wealth, mobility, all of it. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. This is important. It doesn't matter that it's fictitious. This works on the subconscious of little boys and girls, and even grown men and women, to see these images over and over. Let's not downplay the effect of media and images on our subconscious and how we view Black men. Speaking of Black men and leadership needing to be in those leadership positions and women being in them, I'm going to draw attention to the Black Lives Matter petition that we have. I still want to be able to get past the 4,500 signature mark. So the link to that petition is in the description box. Please go ahead and share, sign, and contribute to it. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about Wakanda Forever. Is this the death of Black male leadership on screen? Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.